Hello and good day, everyone. This is Milton from Superheroes in Color, recording directly from Santiago de Chile. Today, we have the pleasure of welcoming Sebastian Jones from Stranger Comics, who will be telling us about Stranger Comics, his books, and StrangerCon. This convention is going to be online this Saturday, May 28th. You can watch live directly from YouTube. Please look for Stranger Comics on YouTube, subscribe, go directly to strangercomics.com. Then you will find the banner that will directly again to the StrangerCon. And the links will be also joining this interview. So let's start with one of the hardworking person in the industry, Mr. Sebastian Jones. Sebastian is the owner and president of Stranger Comics, originally from England. He left for America at 18 years old. There he founded MVP Records, eventually transitioned from music to movies and from movies to feature writing, and founded Stranger Comics. Now dedicated to publishing, writing, and teaching the art of the story and how to turn an idea from concept to creation to universities around the world. Here now will be joining us Mr. Sebastian Jones. Okay, first of all, thank you for joining us today, Sebastian. Can you tell us a little bit about Stranger Comics?
Sure. Yeah, Stranger Comics is a publishing company. We mostly do comic books and we do kids' books. Stranger Comics was formed, we kind of started around 2008, a while ago now. And we started initially, and we're most known for the fantasy world of Asunda. And we like to focus very much on authentic representation. And we like to try and have a philosophy of quality with storytelling and art. And we try and tell stories that, even though we have essentially, for the most part, that take place in this big fantasy world of Asunda, we like to tell stories that kind of reflect the human condition and in themes that we can all relate to. And the star of the world of Asunda is this girl right here, Niobe, from Niobe's Life and Death. That's kind of what we're most known for. And we kind of, in 2015, we kind of made history. We didn't realize we were doing it, but this became the first nationally distributed comic book with a Black female author, artist, and hero in history. Yes. When I co-wrote this with Amanda Stenberg and Ashley A. Woods did the art. But we have 6 books in the series. We have all sorts of stuff, and more stuff coming. So if you want to dive into the world of Asunda, that is what we're most known for at Stranger Comics.
So that is the Indian theme, is the first introduction to the character of Niobe.
That's the first, yes. Yeah, for comic collectors, that's the introduction to Niobe, where you first meet Niobe. And we have trade paperbacks and hardcovers. So we have beautiful hardcovers, oversized hardcovers, dust jacket editions. So I'll show you what the artwork looks like in the Untamed, so you can kind of see it. It looks like a beautiful, like old samurai spaghetti western type fantasy. So yeah, it's magic. And Peter Bergting out of Sweden, he actually painted the book. We spent nearly probably about 7 or 8 years painting this book. There's another kind of nice kind of spread here.
With so much to talk about the beautiful artists, and the one thing I love about Stranger Comics is of the variant covers. I am a sucker for variant covers, and there's so many beautiful versions You just need to collect them.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we're known for doing a lot of variants. Yeah, a lot of collector editions of all sorts of things. Yeah, yes. Foolishly, I don't have them right next to me. I've got one actually on the table.
Okay.
I'll be 2 seconds, folks. This is a famous one that we did that everybody went nuts for, and I think we're close to sold out, if not. So if you remember the Blade movie.
Oh, okay, of course.
There you go.
Very recognizable.
There's your Blade homage. We do music homages to Tribe Called Quest, Biggie Smalls, all sorts of fun stuff. Yeah.
I'm sure everyone that is looking at all these covers, I'm going to try to show them a little bit here in the video later.
Oh, great!
And I'm leave the links so everyone can look up them. But let me see if this means something to you. I'm going to play a little something here. I hope you can hear it. Can you hear?
Please have mercy on me.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay. Just a little bit more.
Lord, please have mercy if you please.
That last one you just played. And then this one. What? You've done your research.
I should have quit you, babe, long time ago.
You've done your research.
Well, that's two trains.
Okay, I don't think I can do more. I don't know how YouTube or everyone can do with the copyright stuff.
Yeah, right.
Does this bring you something to mind? Did I did good or did I was
great,
wrong?
Man. Did great. Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, so what Milton has done is each story in the Untamed has a subheading. Each volume has a subheading. And the first one Milton played was A Sinner's Prayer. And the subheading, each subheading for the Untamed is named after one of my favorite blues tunes, and very much similar to the way that in the Luke Cage TV show had hip hop tracks from the '90s by Gangstar. I think it had all sorts of good hip hop tracks. On the Untamed, it's a blues tune. So we have the A Sinner's Prayer. Then we had Killing Floor by Howlin' Wolf. And then we had Still a Fool by Muddy Waters. And you played the original Sinner's Prayer, but it was an interesting one is I used to run a record label before I did Stranger Comics. And I had a blues, I put out blues albums and jazz and soul. And one of them, I put out A Sinner's Prayer, but the Ray Charles version. So yeah, you've done your homework. It's crazy. It's crazy. Wow, it's lovely to hear. Yeah, thank you, man.
Okay. I'm glad it worked. It worked as I wanted.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. I know these songs. Yeah. So yeah, if you read comics that we do, I try and plant seeds for you. Easter eggs for you to find, seeds. Plant seeds for you to water, and the themes of the Untamed is very much, can a bad man become better? Does a man deserve a second chance? And what would he do with that second chance? And so for me, that was very much in line with a lot of those blues artists,
So no, it's a good thing. It's perfect. In fact, I think in one of the comics I saw there is a music sheet, a song written by yourself. Composed? I don't know.
Yes. So I had this. There's this these spaghetti westerns that I used to watch. and still do. And there's one called Once Upon a Time in the West, and it's a classic. And Charles Bronson plays the harmonica. Well, he doesn't play it; you can see it all over the place. But it sounds great, and I really loved it because it very much felt like a calling card for the dude he's about to kill. He's about to kill someone. So I thought of this kind of this sound, and I hummed it down the phone to a musician in Sweden, and so he and I kind of wrote it together, and then he put a whole piece of music around it. For a motion comic, we actually have our motion comic of the first issue. It's on our YouTube channel.
Okay, everyone, please search. How were you as a kid? What did you like to read? You were into comics. You were more into reading books. What kind of things did you enjoy your time?
Yeah, I think I loved comics first in reading, except for I was very much into. I loved Roald Dahl's Fantastic Mr. Fox. I think I read that every weekend for a year or so. And I loved the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory stuff. And then I discovered The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. And then I became crazy for fantasy. Like I was a fantasy fanatic. And so I think it was around the same time I was very much into both comic books. And on the comic side, I loved, my favorite was the Hulk. I was I still am, very skinny dude, so I'd get picked on,
Okay.
And so I could relate to this whole feeling of, don't make me angry, I guess, getting picked on and then having a bad temper. I really related to the Hulk, and the X-Men I related to. I loved Wolverine. I was a big Wolverine. I loved Storm, and I loved Black Panther. Those are kind of I loved all the X-Men too. I loved Storm, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Colossus. I was a big X-Men head. But the Hulk has always been my dude. So yeah, and I was when I grew up, I was I'm mixed, and I grew up in a very predominantly white neighborhood. So I think I found my refuge in comic books, and also in creating worlds. And that's when I started very, very young in my teens to start creating this fantasy world of Asunda, which is now a comic book company, which is crazy, years later.
So. Sure, I'm going to say this at the start of the video. I'm going to repeat it. You are one of the hardest working person in the business. I started the blog around almost 17 years ago, and one of the first things I read, I heard about was the project of Niobe.
Yeah.
I remember you saying all the good things that were going to be in the future, and since then, has been going every year, consistent. More books, more stories, or quality, and it's not only that you are getting these comics published, these books, but it's the business part that is admirable, because the company has been having a company that consistently put these things out there from quality, and is a steady business, because if it's not, I don't think it will. Many other comic publisher I've been following and don't have this same steadiness and putting out the work. I'm sure it's not because they don't want to, but because at the end, there's a business part to the comic book industry and publishing industry.
Right. 100%. It is not easy. It's not easy. And I think you have to look at it like this. A reader is spoiled in the sense that when they buy a comic book, they're used to for the most part, the big companies, Marvel and DC, the billion-dollar corporations that can afford the highest quality books. So when you're an independent company, and there are obviously different levels of independent companies, some that are still very well funded, that have good backing, quality books, and then there's the indie. And we are still in that indie. I think we're indie kind of vibe or area, but
I think there's a little bit of artisanal quality to the work you do, because it's not something like fabricated, mass produced, but it has that quality.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, that's the. I mean, for me, that's kind of always been the focus, is we're quality over quantity, because I want the fan to feel like they're getting something that they really feel like a lot of love. A love has been poured into the books. So, and they can put it on their coffee table, like we have even with our hardcovers. Like we do special edition dust jackets with reversible posters and all the fun stuff. Because I just wanted it to feel like, okay, look, and also for folks of color to have something that they can feel this is ours, and it is of the highest quality, and we could rock with this, and it's not just been quickly put out because it's a hashtag trending or any of that stupid shit. This is because love has been poured into these books, and it's my love letter to the community through these books. So yeah, this is not done for a quick buck. It's done for the love of the art, and
it shows. It shows. Let's talk about the Stranger Con. What is it? When is it? How can people access it?
So yeah, no, great. Thank you. Yeah, StrangerCon is May 28th. That's a Saturday. May 28th on Saturday. It's from 10 a.m. Pacific time, West Coast American time, so 1 p.m. Eastern New York time, through 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 o'clock Eastern. And what it is it is on YouTube Live. So it'll literally be me sitting in front of a computer for 10 hours solid, discussing, having guests come on, having discounts and opportunities, and showing our exclusives that people can get. And people can literally get, just for turning up, a free comic book.
Wow.
You just have to pay for shipping, but you just get a free comic book just for showing up, because we hit 100 likes. And because we hit 200 likes now, everyone that shows up is going to get a mini print of this as well.
Wow, that's great.
So what I ask folks to do is go to strangercomics.com. You'll see a banner for StrangerCon. Hit the banner, hit the subscribe, hit the remind me, hit the like. If you forget all that, go to @StrangerComics on YouTube and subscribe, and you'll get the announcement as we go live. But May 28th, you can find again all the information on strangercomics.com. Now, there are two things we're launching at StrangerCon. The first is this book right here. We are launching this book, the convention exclusive. You guys are going to see it for the first time. No one's seen this actually. Is this book right here. This is if you guys remember the movie Dead Presidents from the 90s, there's a very famous black movie, Dead Presidents, and this is an homage to that movie. So you can get the Dead Presidents homage. That's our StrangerCon exclusive. You can get that one right there.
Wow.
For free, just for showing up, you're gonna get this one. Kind of crazy. Now, we're also launching the Patreon that day. For the first time ever, we're doing a Patreon. Our fans have asked us about it. So we're launching our Patreon. This is the Patreon exclusive. Now, what we're going to be doing is, for backing the Patreon, the low levels, you're going to get a catalog. You're going to get our entire library and catalog online, opportunities to get our Patreon exclusive stuff in our store, Discord, all sorts of fun stuff. If you back a higher level, we'll literally send you an exclusive comic every single month. And if you back the high level, these are limited, you'll be able to even get the metal editions. They're limited to literally just patron backers. And these are limited high levels. And if you get the super rare high level, you can even get the golds. So you've got limited edition opportunities, all sorts of fun stuff. So if you're a comic collector, we want to give back to you guys, the community. So we figured the Patreon is the perfect way to do it. They're going to be Patreon exclusive. So if you're a collector, they'll be worth some money once we get on screen, on TV and film. And there's a very good chance of that based on the producers that I work with. I can't talk too much more about that, but if you Google some stuff, you'll find all sorts of information on me in that area. But I do have one amazing partner. His name is Prentice Penny, and he is the showrunner of the hit HBO TV show Insecure. And we met in development at HBO. So that's all I can really say about that. But if you're a collector, jump on this stuff. Now
It's
I
the
will.
perfect time to join. We have the Patreon. We have all this stuff that you're going to be giving in the convention. Again, for everyone, how can they reach the
Thank you.
page?
Yeah, you can go to strangercomics.com and you click on the banner that will take you literally to StrangerCon. And there we will have all the links. And we're going to start putting links up so you can see it, the Patreon links on our website. The only thing is right now, you can't get anything. Literally, Patreon is different to Kickstarter. You can't there's no button to get reminded of when it's going to go live. So the best way to remind yourself when it goes live is go to strangercomics.com, go to the StrangerCon banner, hit the reminder button there, and that will remind you of when the Patreon is live. And as soon as it's live, you're ready to go. Oh, and the month 2 for Patreon, Niobe has an enemy named Assessor. She's a vampire. We're going to have the Assessor matching homage to this, and for month 2, and we'll have some of these at StrangerCon. So if you want to get this rare collector cover, come to StrangerCon. And also just to share with you, Milton, too, the storyline behind this is the first time Niobe killed somebody, and how does that affect her? There's a really, really powerful story, and it's featuring Niobe and the Stranger from The Untamed. So if you're a fan of the Untamed storyline, you want to come and get this book.
Wow, this is great. I asked you before, but just to remind people, what are good points for people that want to jump in these stories? What are good points, good sets, good volumes to jump in?
I would always recommend The Untamed, The Sinner's Prayer. It's such a great one to start with. I would recommend, if you're going to start with anything, start with this one. You can start with Dusu as well. It's a great contained story. If you want to start, this is a bit more all ages friendly. So if you're looking for something for your kids or all ages, this is an all ages book. A lot of folks start with this and then they go back and read The Untamed. That's a great one to start with. But if you're grown, this is a more mature reader story. Jump on this. And we do have, if you guys want to save some money, a lot of people do this. We have bundle deals on our website, which literally, I think it's like you buy 5 trade paperbacks, get 1 for free.
Wow, this is great.
And we also have a discount on top right now that if you go to the website and type in StrangerCon, you get 20% off on top. So which will equate to buy 4 trade paperbacks, get 2 for free.
Wow, perfect. This is a great time to to get into the Stranger Comics books. As we're going to the Stranger Con, one question: what is the horizon for Sebastian and for Stranger Comics? What is in the future?
Well, more books in the world of Asunda, more kids' books, and also my partnership with Prentice Penny. We formed a new company that will also be, that was announced recently in the Hollywood Reporter, I believe. And we are going to be producing 2 TV shows. One is based on the comic Harriet Tubman Demon Slayer, and the other one we're developing called Jason Wise. So I'm producing 2 TV shows with Prentice, and that's just the stuff that I can talk about because they've been announced. And yeah, I met with an amazing actress. I can't announce it yet. A couple of days ago, who will also be co-writing with me in Asunda. So a lot of super cool stuff planned.
Okay. Just little hints there, but we are very enthusiastic with what is coming in the future.
Thank you.
I'm going to share all the links, everything I can here with the video, so everyone can join. Please don't miss this. This is very good. This is going to be very good, and you can get lots of good stuff here. So thank you very much, Sebastian, for joining us today. Everyone, please follow and subscribe to Stranger Comics, and do not miss Stranger Comics this Saturday, 28th of May.
Yep, that's it. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for all the support. Everyone should always definitely follow Milton and Superheroes. Like, they have been incredible supporters of Stranger Comics since the beginning, and I'm always very, very humbled and honored and thankful for your support, bro. So thank you very much.
And thank you, because this is the first 2. This is the first interview from I hope an ongoing set of interviews. This is the first interview
That's
from
awesome.
SuperheroesInColor. Thank you for being the first.
Thank you. That's a huge one.
Really hope we repeat this again. We can talk more about this and other stuff that you're having. So, well, everyone, thank you. Please take care and please do good. Hasta luego.